If you're doing the changes on your site, like removing pricing and reducing friction and creating offers, we are now set up to do something different with the traffic. And a couple of those pieces are reactivations. Okay. I preach this quite a bit with RPM clients. People that are on RPM, they understand this quite a bit. But let's talk about how to fix the traffic and create demand. So the very first part is like, you really got to start getting into the favor of marketing a service before demand peaks. Okay, so don't wait until busy season arrives to start advertising. Begin window tint campaigns in February. Begin stronger PPF promotion in April. And push where these guys are in right now. I want you to consider pushing fall and winter detailing packages. And here's the biggest mistake every shop's going to make. They're going to make one post about it, and they're going to write one email. Just like this video, I'm going to have to probably promote this 3 or 4 or 5, 6 times just for people to get into half the amount of people's heads. So you really want to push a offer or a package or get into the mindset of kind of pulling into this multiple times. And then let's talk about reactivation. So most shops have hundreds of thousands of previous customers they rarely contact. I'm not in this video going to be able to walk you through how to write a newsletter, how to do constant contact, how to use MailChimp, how to use OrbisX, Urable. But I want you to really start thinking, at least this is how we build RPM, which is our like inclusive reactivation system. And I'm just giving you all the details, is like we kind of do figure out things of like creating annual inspections, decontamination and topper services. We also do cross sells. So when someone's in a PPF, we genuinely do an eight-day scheduled inspection. We actually do another scheduled inspection annually. The reason why is you got to get them into the door, guys. You sell a $5,000 PPF in March. If you only talk to them one time in the next 12 months, shame on you. I'm just being honest. With tools like RPM, Urable, OrbisX, there's so many great tools of how to repeat that in a non-salesy way. But you got to remember, if you're sending it to 100 clients, and 20 take you up on that offer, how many of those could actually just buy more services? I want you to really think. I actually know RPM's reactivation rate, and I know the recapture dollar amount is pretty substantial. It actually usually pays for itself for RPM for the entire next 2 years. Tint clients, consider offering, a deal for second vehicles or windshield film or upsells. Joe Tarbati's a big king of this. Gets people in the door, and then he does an upsell service. If they buy this upsell service, sometimes within 30 days. You really got to start thinking about your SOPs and your process, okay? Detailing clients should be offered seasonal resets, interior restoration, maintenance detail. I will provide a link on where this video goes, but there's a strategy that we've taught before, which is called the VIP strategy. I'm not going to go into every detail on it. There's a whole post you can do about it, but it's basically where you give someone a very hefty gift card. Please don't make the mistake of trying to push them into PPF or ceramic right off of a gift card. I've seen people try and do that. It's terrible. Is that you give them a $50 gift card. So you call them, you get a physical gift card. Don't fucking do these digital gift cards. I'm just being honest. You say, hey, I have a gift for you. Come on in. You give them a $50 gift card. And then you say, hey, I'm just doing this thing for like my favorite clients this year. This winter is always typically tough, but I really want to work with people just like you. And you give them a gift card of your value. Let's say it's $100, and then you mark 3 more gift cards of $100 or $50, but really make it a low barrier entry to your services. I've seen some guys try and do this with a $1,000 credit card or $1,000 coating or $2,500 PPF. You're not trying to buy an entire year's worth of stuff. You're just trying to get to new people and show gratitude. So that I will provide a link. And use short email and SMS campaigns with a clear deadline, not a generic newsletter. Stop going to ChatGPT and putting in an AI image. It's not going to help you out. Last but not least, reactivating past customers during slow months. Fuck, I just said that. I'll cut that out. And how to create recurring revenue and maintenance revenue. A lot of times PPF and tint shops especially go into this like realm that they don't understand of these highs and lows, and especially PPF and coating shops, or I'm sorry, tint shops, really don't have like some sort of like quarterly annual plan. And that's kind of why I've always preached, like, I really like detailing, because it kind of just keeps people in the door. They come to you, they keep bringing more cars to you, you just have more interactions. The reality is more interactions with a client, your lifetime value starts to skyrocket. A shop that covers even 20% of its monthly operating target through memberships is significantly less dependent on new leads. Imagine if you only had to run your business off of new leads. Go crazy. And, you know, second to last, pre-book the next appointment before delivery. Why don't you really start getting in the mindset? When you do a coating, you know, Mike Carlin does this great thing. I don't know if he still does it, but he would used to include a 6-month or a 1-year check-in. He literally put it in his pricing. So he's like, okay, hey, I'm going to schedule out. So we do this. I think he calls it complimentary, but I'm just being honest. It's built into his entire pricing. Recommend them a service, gets them back in the door. He literally put it into his pricing as part of it. He tells it on his pitch. He's like, we can do this. We include it. And it gets them back in the door. Coating maintenance, and you could do this for PPF as well. If you need help on stuff like this, you know, you can look at things like RPM. You can look at, you know, Urable and OrbisX and other, you know, marketing tactics. But I really want you to get into the mindset is that if you don't repeat some of this, and I'm not telling you to do everything, I'm just trying to give you a couple ideas, because taking pricing off your site and putting in an additional offer doesn't subsidize the fact that you're going to have to change your literally your rhetoric or your habits of your business to essentially avoid those slow periods. And, you know, you could do ads. Ads is a thing. We tend to ramp up ads, believe it or not, for when people are doing a lot of business. We tend to roll into a retargeting stage. You know, there's a lot of guys that do a great job with ads, but I really want you to kind of think, how do I manage the expectation of I'm going to slow down? Because every month the websites are going to, unless you are bringing in a new channel of marketing like ads or events or reactivations or stuff like that, you're just naturally going to have less and less search volume per month. That's just how it goes, especially for SEO partners. Is like, you know, that's just the way it is. Now, the work doesn't lessen because we try and keep people on top 3, but you really got to start considering yourself of like, how do I change my business model so that the blue doesn't become where I'm happy and the white I go through 7 months of hell? How do you make this whole thing a blue page so that you're always in peak season? And things like nurtures, things like reactivation, things like follow-up, things like all this stuff that I've put into this document, which I'd be happy to share with you, we're going to keep you out of that. I made a recent post where we were talking about slow season. And the biggest thing I'm going to tell you overall with all these systems is you really got to start looking at your profit and loss stuff over a period of 13 months. And that will help you understand these seasonal shifts better. And so if you know that stuff is starting to slow down typically around XYZ time, or you start seeing it earlier or later and it hasn't happened yet, you can start get into a rhythm of starting to fire up your systems and reactivation. Hopefully they've been running this whole time. But I made a post here on Facebook essentially saying, like, this is how we do it. This is how we look at our P&Ls. This is how you can do it for less than $500 a month. But hopefully that helps. The big thing, guys, is like search volume always at this time of year decreases. That's just how it goes. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to create your own demand and not just absorb it. Hopefully that helps, guys. Cheers.